Hello everyone, today is September 12th, day 342 of the war between Israel and Hamas, and we have still 101 hostages in Gaza. And these are our articles for today from Yediot Achronot. You have Chilutz Hamusak, the helicopter rescue, Histayem Bason, ended in disaster. We're going to cover that. We'll also cover this article, Alai Mishpachto Mihodu, he made Aliyah, immigrated to Israel from India. Nafal b'pigua b'Beit El, and he fell in the terror attack in Beit El. Let's start with our first one. It says here, Hamasok hitarsek rega lifnei achilutz. The helicopter crashed one moment before the rescue. It says here, the pain. A bit after midnight, Team 669 made their way to an injured soldier in Gaza, but for reasons that are not clear until now, their helicopter crashed. After that, many of those people were injured. 2 of them, unfortunately, have died. And then 4 other helicopters came to their rescue in a very daring mission, risking their own lives to be able to save these different soldiers. Here you can see in this daring rescue mission, the soldiers that came in the other 4 helicopters to try and rescue the injured, rescue unfortunately, the bodies of those soldiers. And as you can see, it's very hard to try and get them out because of this crash. It was very complex. People are trapped inside, and they heroically went in and rescued them. Here you can see the aftermath in daylight of one of the crashed helicopters. You have to understand that these soldiers, they see their other comrades as their own blood, their own brothers. And they not only serve together, but they will risk their lives to go and rescue other people at their own peril. So oftentimes what happens is on their way to rescue someone else, they themselves will be injured, unfortunately, and other people will come to their rescue. And it just comes to show the Israeli spirit and how strong we are for not only wanting to protect our own people, but as soldiers, as comrades, how much they care for each other. Here you can see the 2 soldiers that came in the rescue helicopter. It says here, Tomi, במלחמה הזו לא ישבת על הגדר. In this war, you didn't sit on the fence. אתה חלק מדור של גיבורים. You're part of a generation of heroes. And here you can see Tom Ish Shalom. He left after him a wife, Karmit, and 3 children, a 13-year-old and 2 twins, 11-year-old twins. Here you can see at the funeral of Tom Ish Shalom, his wife Karmit, and 2 of his children hugging. You can also see here that there's not only many police officers and IDF people, but a lot of people come to pay their respect to the fallen. Here you have the other soldier that died. They're both reservists. This is 37-year-old Daniel Alush. Daniel היה הלב של הצוות. Daniel was the heart of the team. וסייע לאחרים עד רגעיו האחרונים, and he helped and served others until his last moments. Here you can see Daniel Alush, and he's also here hugging one of his children. He left after him a wife and 2 children, very young children. One was only a year and 4 months. When these men go to war, they go to war knowing that they're risking their own lives, but also they could leave their children orphans. And they go to war defending not just all of Israel, but thinking about their children, because if they don't go and defend their children, who will? We're very thankful for these heroes. And now let's go to a story about another hero that his story unfortunately didn't end so well. It ended in tragedy. It says here, Gidon ne'erag. Gidon was killed midrisat mechalit hagaz, from being run over by a gas tank. Here you can see Sergeant Gidon that came from India with his family. It says here that he came 4 years ago, and he learned Hebrew and immediately went into the army out of his own accord. He volunteered to go, and he was basically at this bus station. You can see in this picture, he's guarding at a bus station, and this terrorist that was driving this gas tank, he rammed into him, and also probably he hoped to do and cause more damage than just killing him. I think he was probably expecting, a much bigger explosion to kill many more people. Gidon is a hero that sacrificed his life, came all the way from India with his family to protect Israel, and we thank him as well. Here we have another interesting article. It says here, מתפסים על החומה. They're climbing the wall in broad daylight, לאור יום, ונעלמים בתוך שטח ישראל. And they disappear into Israeli territory. In this picture, you can see the wall that is on the border of the Palestinian territories and Israel. And you see here illegal aliens, potentially terrorists, that they are crossing the border in broad daylight. And just by chance, because a military vehicle passed by there, they suddenly saw them. What's happening now is that there's not only rising tensions in the West Bank, but all of these illegal aliens and potential terrorists are coming through the walls, through the checkpoints, and they often actually get caught even on highways. If some of you guys have seen recently, they caught a whole van of them on road number 6. One of them, the driver, was a terrorist. They found ammunition, a lot of ammunition inside the van, and the rest were illegal aliens trying to come in. A lot of them do become terrorists later. Their families also get paid for the terror that they create, because a lot of them are in a desperate situation, because if before that they could still get jobs in Israeli territory as builders, as different types of things, now because the situation is dangerous, a lot of them can't get jobs, and so they're actually desperate for money. So not everyone who crosses the border are terrorists, but many of them are. But either way, it's illegal and it's endangering the people of Israel. Here's more insight into the war in Israel that's happening right now in the hostage deal. It says here, Bachir Hamas divach leSinwar, a high-ranking person in the Hamas, gave a report to Sinwar. Ibadnu 95% מהרקטות. We've lost 95% of our rockets. I can attest, being in Israel, even though I don't live around Gaza, that we've had less and less sirens coming out, rockets from Gaza. And basically this report is a report telling Sinwar of the damage. So they lost 90 to 95% of their rockets. They lost a huge percent of their soldiers. Also, not only because they have been injured, but because mentally they couldn't continue on with the war. People, I think, often tend to think that, terrorists, they don't have any feelings at all. But when you do bad deeds, when you kill, when you send rockets, when you are under the pressure of war and evil, you do still suffer from it mentally. And so no one should think that they don't suffer from it too. We, on the Israeli side, we try to give help. Even though we're lacking in this area, try to give mental health and psychological help to the people that are injured. But Hamas, of course, they don't care for their terrorists. They just dispose of them once they don't have need for them anymore. Here you can see Gallant holding one of the papers of the official report to Sinwar. And you would think that because Hamas is being weakened, that they would relent, that they would compromise more in this hostage deal. But in actuality, in the rest of this report, the offer is to make their stance even stronger. And now for 2 good news, because we're giving you guys way too much bad news lately, so we'll make it up to you. Here it says, Ma'aneh Rishoni Nashi, female first responders. In Israel, they've decided to create female only first responders in actually response to what happened in the war. What happened in the war is that they would find many, many women that were raped, naked, with weapons in their private parts. And you actually have a lot of the first responders are male, and they are religious. So it doesn't mean that they don't treat these women, or if they find a woman who's pregnant and giving birth somewhere, they don't help her, they do help. A lot of the women that are found, if they're not, haven't been raped and already murdered, they're found alive in extremely sensitive situations. They've been attacked by men, they've been raped by men, they've been sexually assaulted. And so it's very hard for them as well to deal with male first responders suddenly attending to them. And that's why they have created these all-female first responders. And here you can see in this photo, first responders. Some of them you can see that she has a skirt on with long sleeves, meaning that she is religious of some sort. You can see a Muslim Arab woman here and 2 other female first responders. And we're very thankful that they are thinking about moving forward. How do we help in certain sensitive situations? And now for some beautiful growth in Israel when we've had so much destruction. Be'eri is blooming again with its agriculture. It says here, Be'eri hapomelot niktefot shuv. In Be'eri, the pomelos are being plucked again. After the war, the agriculture has suffered a lot. A lot of people went into reserves. A lot of their workers went into reserves on these farms, and they didn't have enough people to help to pluck the produce, actually physically. So if you're a person that's watching this and you're thinking, how can I help Israel? This is one of the ways that you can go and help. You can literally go to these farms and lend a helping hand. It's not just, they have different fruits and different vegetables in different seasons. Now it's the pomelot. Later on, it'll be clementines and oranges. And soon it'll even be avocados. And so you will be helping Israel to have really good sustenance by helping them. Thank you so much for watching. Keep on praying for Israel, for the 101 hostages. And if you want more Israel content like this, go to allisrael.com. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We'll see you guys in the next one.